Hello YouTube, this is Thompson0737, doing a bit of a video really, talking about a few things to go over. So, of course, starting off straight away, these new arrivals in my collection. You might have probably guessed that I would get these. I've probably mentioned it in previous videos. It's been probably a good 2-3 weeks since I last did a video. Although it does seem to be a little bit longer to me, but I don't know, for you guys it might just seem normal. So the Wizz Air was really, a must. Having the other two Wizz Airs, both the Ukrainian and Hungarian registered Wizz Airs, in the sort of, I suppose it still is like a current livery, because not all Wizz Airs are in the new livery yet. But yeah, this one's certainly a great release by Phoenix, and like I say, it goes very well. I'll mention these a bit later on, because I've got something to talk about as well, which sort of links into Wizz Air. We have the Emirates. This is by Gemini Jets. The Emirates A382 Pele World Cup. I did pre-order the JC wings when they announced their release, but obviously it got cancelled, along with the Boeing 777-300. And basically, the minute I saw this, it was an instant. That's definitely what I'm going to get. Very nice model, indeed. The livery, the obviously the World Cup livery itself, fantastic. And like I said, I was such a big fan of the during the World Cup, so it really does. It's not just a model. It's part of like a worldwide event. So yeah, there's more to that than just getting it as a model that I like. Then we have this Ryanair 737-800. Of course, another one. Had to go into my basket online. Some people have sort of said they're not really fond of this particular livery. I like it. I certainly I'd probably say I'd prefer like a normal Ryanair compared to this one, which of course we do have. But nonetheless, it's still a great one to have in the collection, and something different. This does obviously operate. I think we had that at Doncaster Airport. We had the older version. For those of you who don't know, basically the Ryanair. I don't know if it's the same aircraft or a different aircraft or what. But the old version was like the old sort of Boeing colours. Not old Boeing colours, but very similar style, of course, with like the sort of wave sort of line that's going through the fuselage. And the tail itself was the colour of the Boeing colours. If you want to search it on Google, you probably know what I mean. Some of you probably automatically know what I mean, but obviously, I know what I mean. But yeah, it's we haven't had this one yet. Like I said, I don't know if it was in the previous, because it might be DCL, EIDCL sort of rings a bell, I think, in terms of registration. So it could be, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so they're the most recent releases. Next releases, the Thomas Cook A330 from Phoenix for me at the minute. I don't think there's going to be anything else, to be honest. I think it's just going to be the Thomas Cook A330. I think that's the only thing. While we're talking about models, my next airport project, well, like I say, that's still there. It's still in my mind, something that I want to do. The only thing is, when I do get that airport, it's going to go where my Manchester airport is, in this room, on the snooker table. So I'm either going to have to move my Manchester airport somewhere else, which I've no idea where. Or alternate both. The only thing is with the Manchester airport is I'm starting to get to the point where when I do updates, it seems to be a bit repetitive in terms of showing, the similar stuff. My next project will, of course, include most of the stuff you see on Manchester, but there's going to be a lot more variety. Now, I've probably said this in the past, I want to show a lot more of my collection and include a lot more. But with Manchester, even though, you can set up a really good lineup along Terminal 2 and have stuff arriving in that you probably wouldn't expect along the remote stands, it's very rare you see multiple aircraft of the same airline. So like Qatar, you only really ever see one at Manchester at one time. Etihad as well. Maybe not Etihad. Emirates as well. Obviously, they move around to Terminal 1. So that's another airline that, I would want to bring in amongst the sort of other traffic. We have, the PIAs, it'd be quite good to have like a little Pakistan International Airlines lineup on the new airport. United, a few American airlines, of course, Manchester Americans round Terminal 3. So, all these different airlines, like Wizz as well. And of course, I know I've got my other airport, sort of holiday destination airport. But like I say, that's more for just European traffic. My Manchester airport is really ideal. It really is an ideal airport to have and to replicate because, there's so much traffic that you can include. And even though I like to follow real life events, I could put in a lot more of my collection and sort of do it that way, but I don't feel it. You know what I mean? I feel because it's a real airport, I want to do real traffic movements and not something that hasn't ever been in. There's plenty of stuff that I haven't shown that has been in, but in a way I want to keep it like up to date as well. So, when like the Antonov 124s, if an Antonov 124 came into Manchester any time, or if the 225 made another appearance, then I'd probably do that in the update and sort of replicate the other traffic around amongst on that date as well. But like I say, if I am going to do, if I am, I probably will be doing this next airport project. When is another question. I've actually got quite a lot of free time to be able to do it. Money at the minute is an issue. Like I say, the cost of it and everything is something, you've got to think about. Like I say, the time and effort and everything like that as well. You don't want to start a project, then halfway through you sort of abandon it. And that's something that I've got to think about because obviously next month's my birthday. Then FIFA 16 is coming out, the demo is going to be coming out, so I'm probably going to be playing that up until the release. Then obviously once the full game gets released, I'm probably going to be playing FIFA non-stop. Whenever I have free time. I say non-stop, normally I play like 2, 3, 4 games in a row, consecutive, and then I'll come away, have a break, go on it the next day or something. But I don't know. It's an annual game, and I am into football. As a Liverpool fan, I'm sure I'll be doing the career mode in that, and that's why obviously I don't want to go too much into FIFA, but that's why I've got to think about what priorities I'm going to have. Like I said, I don't want to start this project and then FIFA comes and then I sort of abandon it and. I'm not really using it as much, but in a way, that might help me do updates because if I don't, if I have something else to occupy me, then I might think, right, I might do something a bit different, I'll do an update. You know what I mean? So it's not in two ways, really. I'm not entirely sure which way to go about it at the minute, but it really is on the cards. This next airport is going to be featuring a lot of cargo as well, just to highlight that. A lot of cargo. Right, I've sort of gone on a bit too much about that. The next thing is I want to talk about before the video ends, is I now work for Swissport. If you are following me on Instagram, you probably already know. But yeah, I'm working for Swissport, which is, for those of you who don't know, is a ground handling agency, company, business, worldwide. That of course they originate from Switzerland. Hence the name Swissport. For those of you who don't know as well, I wasn't actually aware of this until my interview for the job, and Servicair actually is now Swissport. Swissport actually took over Servicair, so that's something new I learned. So yeah, I of course I'm based at Doncaster Airport. It's my nearest airport. At the minute, I'm classed as a ramp agent, but more specifically a baggage handler. The hours are good. 25 hours a week. And you do get, like, at the minute I'm on early shifts, and like this week then I've got Friday and Saturday off. But like this morning I finished like 45 minutes early, but I still get paid. If there's no aircraft inbound or not much to do, then some guys do send you home early. Some might keep you on, to keep you to sort of do little things. The aircraft, when I left, was still on the ground, awaiting sort of pushback and clearance to actually go. So the job itself is actually very, very good. You've got to be quite physical though, physically fit. So if it is something that is interesting you, you want to sort of know how to get into working at an airport, I wouldn't recommend as a ramp agent to have that as your first job. If you're going to go into it, either go to the gym and build yourself up, or have like a warehouse job first and get used to like lifting like heavy sort of weights and stuff, before you come in. Because we have, just going back to the Wizz Air, which I mentioned earlier, we obviously have quite a lot of Wizz Air flights in the evening time. We have like usually 3 or 4, and their allowance is up to 32 kilograms, and the average weight for like Thompson aircraft, which is the airline we mostly have with 2-based aircraft, they're usually like 20 kilograms, 22 kilograms, so it's an extra like 10 kilograms, but there aren't a lot. They weigh a lot, but the actual quantity of bags is very short. We normally get about 70 or below 70 bags for Wizz Airs. A lot of passengers do take stuff on board with them, but even the suitcases that do go in the hold, it's like, what exactly are they taking in their suitcases to make it so heavy? Some of the suitcases are quite big as well, though. So obviously, the bigger the suitcase, the more you can fit in. But like I say, Thompson flights, they are quite easy. The worst part is when you're in the aircraft hold and you're stacking the baggage up, because it's just like, obviously you're on your knees. You haven't really got much like strength in your back or like your arms. Like, you sort of have, but basically you do have to get hold of the bags or luggage and actually chuck them. Now, a lot of people, I've heard that probably before, like you do chuck your bags, and honestly, I can honestly say you do. It's not, you can't, pick them up and place them. Even when we're loading them onto the dollies to go to the aircraft, they have to be sort of thrown on. You can't dawdle about trying, lifting it close to you. You just got to pick it up and toss it on, basically. It is hard work, especially, like I say, in the hold, because there's not much air. It I wouldn't say it's tough, but it can get a bit, a bit bad. But yeah, if you've got any questions based on anything, new releases, my job, my new job working for Swissport, by all means ask me. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Also want to say thanks to those who have joined the forum. I haven't personally posted anything in a few days, few weeks, but I will be shortly. Hence, new releases, new models, my collection. I'll probably be posting pictures and stuff like that. So if you want to head over there, it's called scaleaircraftforum.boards.net. So if you want to go over there and sign up, like I say, it's free if you wish to do so. But I'm going to end the video here, guys. It's gone on for quite a while. But like I say, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for future content. I'll see you later. Bye.